Hey yo everybody, Prodigious Charles here, and in this video, we're going to be continuing with the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 analysis series. Now we start off night 3 pretty quickly. We notice that the phone call that we get is not from the phone dude this time, but from the recordings from the old restaurant. And that's a bit weird that the phone dude kind of disappears on us as soon as Springtrap's introduced to the game. It kind of ties back to what I said before, he's got something ominous behind him. But even stranger than that, why did we, the player, the security guard that's acting at this horror attraction, why is this guy coming back to the horror attraction? You never know, this could lead into things like extortion or blackmail, who knows what it could be, but that's obviously one of the strangest things that happened, well, in my opinion, that this guy came back. Obviously, for the progression of the game, sure, he had to come back. Maybe he knew something about the souls in the minigames from before, and it's just assumed that he's coming to save the souls of the dead children, but who knows. We also get introduced to the concept of the hidden room that's off camera and invisible to the animatronics. This is important because it tells us, well, it gives us a reason why the animatronics couldn't save any children. And we can see as we enter this minigame, Chica's Party, it's basically the application of the knowledge we got from the minigame from the last night, which was the collecting the cupcakes, which actually were zombie cupcakes. They weren't oddly colored grey for no reason. You can see in the footage that I actually had to click on each cupcake, which was a dreary grey color. Now in terms of gameplay, this night introduces, I'll say, a tougher version of the jump scares. In night 2 you do get jump scares, but like they are so rare. And if it does happen, it doesn't really impact you that negatively. Although night 2 can still be pretty hard for first time players, night 3 is really where things start getting tough, because you really have to understand, or rather learn, that you need to click away from those jump scares as soon as they appear on the camera. You need to learn how to manage your resources around that. You need to learn when to reboot. When you see Freddy in the window of your office, you have to know straight away, go to your ventilation, or manage your time to go to ventilation at some point before that sequence stops and he comes to jump scare you. That being said, I know how to stop all of the jump scares really, except for the Foxy one. I still haven't figured that one out, but other than that, there's not really much new introduced to the gameplay that could hamper the difficulty, besides perhaps the static in the camera causing the player to try harder to recognize the jump scares, and this definitely helps in the later nights. Now back to the juicy story. The recording heard on night 3 also gives us more information as to where or when the murders of the children could have taken place. This phone call mentions that the animatronic suits have a spring mechanism that you can manipulate to retract the matrix within and be able to climb into it. In a later night, this will have a huge significance, as you will have seen that this mechanism fails and crushes the purple guy, assumedly the killer of the 5 children. Since the purple guy was introduced in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, we can assume that his death and the death of the 5 children happened during and or before 1987, especially as the phone call in night 3 of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 makes reference to an investigation happening out there, which I assume means at the sister establishment. However, there's also a phone call in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 which states that someone used a yellow suit in the back. At this point, we know that there are 4 possible suits: Golden Freddy, Chica, Toy Chica, and Springtrap. As Golden Freddy only appears from night 6 in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it's highly likely that the restaurant is where the female child was murdered, as Golden Freddy has the laugh of a girl. So we may be able to come to the conclusion that the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was not really where Purple Guy perpetrated his murders, but rather another person, which could be linked back to Fredbear's Family Diner. As fascinating as that is, I'll leave further discussion of this to future videos. But that leads on to the possibility of victims other than the 5 children. Five Nights at Freddy's 1 mentioned that other night shift guards moved on to things and definitely didn't die, right? Well, maybe they did die, and the phone call was trying to present his recordings in the best interest of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This also could have happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and as a result, there are heaps of possessed animatronics, which indeed there do seem to be. Who knows, they may have become BB and the toy animatronics in order to help the children the way that they do. Although I don't particularly like the theory, it also supports the theory that one of the security guards of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza may have conducted the murder, causing the animatronics to attack the guards. The reason for this is it would be a common memory that they'd hold on to as spirits. Or rather, it could be that the animatronics just don't trust all adults, and the pack mentality was carried over from the original children's deaths. There are a lot of things that this knowledge could lead to. Let me know what you think. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but do let me know if you think that that makes sense. Basically what I've said is that there could be more than one killer, and I implied that there could have been more than just 5 or 6 deaths at the Freddy Fazbear Pizza franchises, not just the franchise. Now we have the Night 3 minigame. In this minigame, it features Chica, and Chica's going around holding a cupcake, doing a thing, and once again she has to follow, like all the other animatronics, Purple Freddy to their deaths. But here we see a sequence of numbers, 935248, and it disagrees with the recurring theme of being a detective, collecting the clues. What does this number refer to? Well, it actually refers to a sequence of panels that will be available to you in the next night. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, leave a comment. If you didn't, dislike it, do whatever you want, and if you enjoyed content like this, please subscribe for more. See ya!